What's good, y'all? Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. First of all, thank you so much for joining me today. Greatly appreciate it. If you could, please hit the like button, subscribe button, notification button, so that way you can stay up to date with all of my future Teachable Tuesday content videos. Oh my gosh, I clearly cannot talk today. Anyways, this is going to be the 2024 yearly recap part 2. If you did not check out part 1, I would advise you to put a pause in this video, check out that one, and then come back to this one so that way you know what's going on for what happened in my year. We are going to be talking about April, May, and June. So I'm not going to give a recap. Again, if you want to know what happened at the beginning of the year, go back, check that one out. I promise the video is not long. And then you're going to come back to this one. This is part 2 of the 4 of the series. That's one of the reasons why I split up into a 4-part series as opposed to 2. So that way it wouldn't necessarily be long-winded. All right, so we're going to start with April. So April was when what happened? I did the Skate World Series. Oh, well, first my birthday. My birthday happened in April. I turned 33, a.k.a. the Yeshua year, Jesus year, whatever you may call Lord and Savior. Yeah. Year 33, was very excited about that and whatnot. I don't think I did anything for my birthday in particular. Not that I can recall. Did I? No, I don't think I did. I think I treated myself out to eat, something light. And then because I was going to celebrate by going to the Skate World Series. So this is the 3rd year in a row that I have been to the Skate World Series. For those who are new to my channel, the Skate World Series is held by Elite Vibes crew. They are here in Orlando. They were founded in Florida, of course. And I actually also have a couple of videos if you want to check out a couple of vlogs about the Skate World Series and whatnot. But it was a fun time. But this was my first time. First of all, this is my first time I didn't get injured before then. Well, I kind of did. I had the rib injury. But I wasn't like super duper injured and to the point where it affected my skating. Now, if you remember from the last video when I was talking about my ribs, how I had the rib injury, I was cleared to go skating. And it seemed like everything was good. You know what I'm saying? My side was still hurting a little bit when I would do certain moves. Like when I tried to do leg drops, it would hurt. But it, for the most part, I was good. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, I did pretty good. I did slightly hurt my ankle on the last night, just a little bit. But it wasn't to a point where it was unbearable and I couldn't skate. But nonetheless, I skated for 5 nights in a row. And that is the first time and probably one of the last times that I will ever do that in my life, y'all. It was crazy. I had a mission to go to every skate party, every skate event that month that I possibly could. Obviously, I didn't make it out. But, I mean, I went skating every single night. Like that Wednesday, I think I treated myself to a massage and went straight to the rink. And then that Thursday, because I believe every night was at Astro, if I'm not mistaken. So Wednesday, I forgot Wednesday. Wednesday was shuffle skating. Thursday, I think was the headphone night, silent headphone party. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday were like the main event nights. And, it was really cool. It was my second year doing Cleveland freestyle, so I felt a lot more comfortable freestyling with cats directly from Cleveland. I didn't feel like I had imposter syndrome. You know what I'm saying? If anything, I was just like really super inspired. I had gotten into backpacking during that time. If you don't know what backpacking is, that's a form of skating where you have a skate partner and yeah, you skate together. It's a form of skating together. That's the best way I can describe it, right? But it was a lot of different things I was trying. It was a really fun time. When I tell you, I had to take that Monday off because my legs were dead. Capital D-E-A-D. You hear me? Dead. I think I took off that Friday, too. I told myself I was going to take off that Friday and that Monday. But it was a really fun time. What else happened in April? Nothing much outside of that. Just my birthday, Skate World Series. That was a lot of fun. May came into the picture, so I was wrapping up my first official year of teaching seniors. Now, I had seen plenty of seniors that I taught in the past and other grades graduate, but this was the first time that I was teaching seniors. So to see them walk across that stage in May was a great feeling to, feel like I helped like kind of usher them to the other side, if you will, of what life is like after high school, as they enter into adulthood. Some of them going to college, some of them going to trade school, some of them going to the military, some of them trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So I was grateful to be a part of that. And these kids that I taught were the last group of kids that I had, that I had ever taught. Well, not ever taught. They were the last group of kids that I taught back when they were in middle school. Because some of these kids I taught when they were in 7th grade. Because I went to South Creek. I was teaching at South Creek for quite some time. And when I left, these kids were in the 7th grade when I officially left, and I stopped teaching, and eventually I came back and I ended up at Cypress. So, yeah, this kind of was a special thing for me. Like I said, my first year teaching seniors, my last group of kids that I had ever taught in middle school. And just, it's beautiful when you can see, because I have a lot of kids, even this year, I'm seeing kids that I taught when they were in 10th grade, and I'm teaching them again. And it's beautiful to see how much they've grown, but I think it's really rewarding when I see them grow from little jits to adult jits, because they still jits in my eyes. They still my jits. But yeah, it was definitely an awesome year. I felt like I had more liberty teaching seniors. I had more creative flexibility, if you will. It wasn't so much I was focusing on teaching to the test. I mean, granted, they still had exams and stuff that they took for my class and so on and so forth. And I think I've gotten a better handle on things this school year compared to last school year. But it was awesome. It was fun. It was fun. And, I think about my kids from time to time. Some of them I still stay in touch with. They tell me about what's going on in college or the military and stuff like that. And others I haven't heard from, but they still on my mind. I think about them. I pray for them every now and again. Pray that God keep them safe and all that good stuff. So yeah. Let's see what else happened in May. So graduation. All right. I talked about this on this channel before. I'm gonna be transparent. I had an individual that I was very much into kind of re-enter my life around that time, right? And let's just say it was very much short-lived. Not going to go into details, but I think that was one of those lessons that I learned that, and I tell you guys this often, and, I got to make sure I take my own advice, but there are times where you don't let people back into your life. You know what I'm saying? You have to know when, hey, no matter how tempting it seems, if it acts like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it's the duck. So, but what I also learned during that time was there was a period where I probably could have handled a situation particularly better than I did. And I think this summer I learned a lot. Shout out to my brother Lathan. I learned a lot about how it's okay to put your foot down. It's okay to be direct with your words and direct with your feelings. But sometimes you can't feed people straight black coffee. You got to put a little creamer in there to soften it up. And that's not to say that you ain't got to spare people, you got to spare people's feelings, but it's more so approach matters. Approach most certainly does matter. And I agree with him on that aspect 100%. So that is something that I most certainly learned. That is something that I have to continuously take into consideration, if you will, and whatnot. So yeah. But that was pretty much short-lived. And then we go into June, and I was working 2 jobs over the summer. I was doing summer school, and I was also working for Boys and Girls Club. I normally work for Boys and Girls Club every year, but this was my first time ever working summer school. I found out what ingenuity was. Well, I knew what ingenuity was, but I got a little bit more into what it was like. And, it's crazy, right? And I know this is a different generation. This is no knock on the generation, but I'm going to just call it for what it is. It's crazy to see how you have some kids that just sit through high school and do nothing. And I only say that because I think to myself in high school, and granted, my freshman year was not my best year in high school. I'm not going to say I failed classes, but I most certainly didn't do my best. But my parents were on me like white rice. Like, they were like, Marcus, what you're not about to do is be failing. So when I see kids that are like in sophomore and junior year and they have low GPAs, like you talking about 0.5s, 1.0s, 1.5s, I'm just sitting here like this. Like, what you doing? What you doing, baby? Come on now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just blows my mind. And granted, I'm not saying that every kid wants to go to college. That's perfectly fine. I'm okay with that. But what I'm not okay with is not giving effort, not caring about your future. That's my biggest thing. Or your senior year comes along, you're like, oh crap, I gotta get it together. But your GPA like a 1.6, and you struggling just to get that bad boy back up. So I don't know. One of these days, I think I'm gonna just go around to freshman classes and start talking to cats and let them know, like, hey man, don't get on the ball early. If you had a bad freshman year, all right, cool, tighten up, get it together now. You know what I'm saying? So that was fun. What wasn't fun was the fact that I was not able to go on my vacation. Finances. Let me tell you something. I love Orlando. I love living by myself. But boy, oh boy, is it tough. Is it tough. I was supposed to go on a 10-day vacation to California. Had money to the side, had the Airbnb paid for, had the plane tickets, but some things came up. And as a result, I was not able to go. And I was pretty bummed out about it, if I'm being completely honest with you. I was really looking forward to disappearing and just getting away. I was supposed to have a 10-day trip to California. And not only that, but my ticket was cheap. I found a ticket going to LA for $65 Southwest. And then coming back from LA, it was $135. Bruh, I was so disappointed when I had to cancel my trip. Yeah. Totally just upset. And then, I'm trying to figure out other aspects of what's going on and so on and so forth, because I was supposed to leave late June and it was actually supposed to tie into July. Unfortunately, that clearly didn't happen. But it was what it was. I had to do what I had to do. And I think at the end of the day, it was good that I stayed home and worked, because other things did pop up, which we'll talk about in the next video. And, also, I got some work experience for the summer. So, if I ever work summer school again, I know what to get into. I know what that process is like, and so on and so forth. And we're going to end the video here. That is the end of part 2. So not too much eventful stuff, if you will, with the exception of the Skate World Series. And of course, seeing my first group of seniors graduate. So next week, we are going to get into the months of July, August, and September, where things started to pick up quite a bit. And I started learning a lot of harsh lessons about finances. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Smart Inspiration from Teachable Tuesdays, here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Love you guys. Hope you have a great day.